sheets to proclaim $5,000 incoming because Bitcoin hasn't pumped in 2 days. Are the Moon Boys right now on the verge of the biggest bustulation pattern that we haven't seen appear on these charts since September of 2021? Or are the baby bears ready to exact revenge on the baby bulls and dump one final mega dump all over baby bull kind? So strap in, buckle your seatbelts, loosen your cheeks, and send your ex an I love you text because we're about to make it all back in one trade. Right now, the price of Bitcoin spends its second day in what is to be considered the bone zone, right at about 23,000, right around there. And with the weekly candle close coming in just moments, and the opening of the stock market and the beginning of the new week just moments away, this is a critical moment for Bitcoin. As you all know, if you've been in crypto for a few weeks, weekend price action is not the most trustworthy. It's a little more volatile or less volatile, really, and it doesn't really stick to the main trend of the overall markets, considering the stock market isn't open, considering there's less volume, there's less interest on the weekends. The weekends just typically aren't the most reliable source of price trajectory for cryptocurrency. If one of the main correlations with your asset is the stock market and the stock market isn't open, then of course, weekend price action is a little bit more, how do we say, bananas. But the big deal here, the big cheese, if you want to call it, is this. And we're going to be jumping into this chart. But I do want to highlight this as well, and this is something I saw posted on Twitter by Game of Trades. Retail traders are heavily betting on the downside, and the put-call ratio levels were last seen during COVID-19. Kevin even saying here, every time, retail just thinks the trend will last forever. And we do see excessive pessimism in terms of this rally. You can pull up that little psychology chart. Where are we at? Are we in the denial phase? Are we in the disbelief phase? Whatever you want to call it. It is very clear right now that if you're bullish on Bitcoin, you absolutely have a lot of opposition. And here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. Because if we open up Monday or Tuesday, let's say early on in this week, we see Bitcoin have a nice pullback, which, again, as I said yesterday, I think is a real possibility this week. I think it's a real possibility that we don't shoot up to 30,000 within the next 2 days. I think it's possible maybe we have a little bit of a pit stop, a little bit of a fake out first or something. Again, it'll be very telling when the stock market opens which direction we're going to go, and we're going to be looking at that in a second. But if we do get a pullback, a lot of people are saying right now, no, everyone's bullish. Everyone's a little too bullish. Watch what happens. Because if we get a $1,000 dump, even just $1,000 down to 22, even 21,000 or something like that, the amount of people that are going to get extremely bearish and say, look, I told you this was a bull trap the entire time, the amount of people that are going to do that is going to be overwhelming, okay? Right now, the bears that think that we're going down to 10K or lower have literally been cuddled up to their mommies, right? Drinking straight from the source, waiting, hiding, right? We see that happening. But the thing is, the second we get this pullback, which don't believe that we won't, because we will, the second we do, the amount of people that come crying and screaming out of their mommy's bed sheets, right? Climbing out of their mommy's bed sheets, maybe playing with their toys a little bit, and then ultimately getting on Twitter and YouTube to say, we're going back to 10K, we're going back to 5K, and then, shortly after, most likely their parents will have to change their diapers again, and they can suck on their binky, and they can continue to be a baby. But first, if we get this dump, believe me, they're going to come out. And everybody that is neutral in this market will again see that, oh, wait, actually, people are still very bearish. Now, we're just not seeing it as much because if you're bearish right now, you look a little silly considering we just pumped like $7,000 in just like the last week or so. But again, believe me, that is what I'm anticipating. That is what I think you should be watching for on these charts. Now, is it possible we just absolutely continue a bust-out breakout? Absolutely. I mean, that's always a possibility. In fact, one of the biggest things we're seeing right now is the 21-day moving average is actually closer than ever, and you can see very, very imminently close to crossing the 200-day moving average for the first time since September of 2021, as we had the 69K blow off top. Nice. So that's big, guys. Let's not discount that. And also, I like to call that the baby golden cross, but the big boy golden cross, the normal one, is actually also curving up. It's a little more delayed because it's the 50-day going to the 200. The 21 is already inching and squinching its way up there because it's the baby version. But that's just big, okay? And again, I mean, to keep in mind, we have a million things of why, or a million indicators of why this trend actually looks pretty substantially different than the past year. Basically, we're finally getting these signals we've been waiting for. This bullish divergence, again, as I've been talking about for months, do not discount it. But also, again, if we really take a look on Bitcoin's weekly chart, we are very close to breaking ultimately this trend. And this gets very powerful here. Can get very powerful. We've broken every single one of these trends so far from this pump. Remember, this pump, we are below all of it. And then when we got above 18,000, we started breaking some of these lines, and now we're on the final one, the final downtrend line. And as well, SPX, this is huge. I believe it's the 50-day moving average, 50-week moving average, sits right about 40, 43. And breaking that level, I think the stock market can go on a nice run here. Now, that would absolutely destroy the faith of a lot of the baby bears if that happens. And what's exciting is, again, we have the opportunity for that this week. I think it could take another couple weeks, though, honestly, but we see the beginning possibilities of that here coming up very soon. And again, like I've been saying, though, I absolutely believe this relief rally has more room to it. If you were listening to me just about 2 weeks ago at 16,000, we said we're about, this is the moment you've been waiting for, basically, and you can go back and watch those clips. And I took those trades. I've been in long positions here. And I'm absolutely in profit here, and at which point you can move your stop losses into extreme profit, basically, so that you don't lose that profit. I mean, at that point, when you catch a big breakout like this, it's basically win-win. If you just know how to manage the trade, then, if it does come down, it can hit one of your stop losses, and you'll be in profit when you get stopped out by a lot, right? If you played it correctly. So these opportunities are ones you just really don't want to miss, because they only come along maybe once or twice a year, sometimes not even once in a year. Usually, though, once or twice in a year. And we're starting off 2023, January, first month of the year, with one of those big opportunities, and you can see it on this weekly chart. This is this big opportunity for a trade that I'm talking about. Now, I do want to clarify again, I do not necessarily believe this is the beginning of a bull market. I've been saying that for months. I don't think that's the case. But I mean, if you could pretty much see a pump like this coming, why wouldn't you at least take a trade on it? Now, again, as I said yesterday, we're at the point now where if you're just looking to straight long, you have to be honest with yourself. You missed this move. You missed it. Could we still go up to 30, 35,000 over the next few weeks and months? Yes. In fact, I do believe that is most likely. But here's the thing. Say you place a long position right now at 22.5 or something like that, and then we swing back down to 21, you're going to be all up in your feelings because you got dumped on. But then let's say after that 21.5 or 20,000, or heavens forbid a $19,000 move, then we go up to 25 and 30,000, right? That's usually how the market works, because I personally believe, people might start actually longing for the first time here, which, again, you should have been longing here, and that's what we were saying 2 weeks ago. So again, at this point, we're in a mode where we need to wait for the confirmation of the stock market tomorrow before getting too excited about which direction we're going to go. But on the longer term, medium to long term, it looks as though this could be a much bigger breakout. So to summarize, short term, I potentially think we could see a retracement and consolidation. Medium to long term, I absolutely think this is the beginning of a multi-month relief rally, especially if inflation continues the direction that it's going, and especially if the stock market can have any level of pumpage whatsoever and get above 4K. So you get the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications, send me these absolutely time-sensitive alerts, take advantage of absolutely massive deposit and welcome bonuses for free simply by signing up with BitGet and BIBIT, and as well as 0 trading fees for BIBIT and BitGet below using my link when you sign up. And additionally, if you want to do copy trading for the first time with spot trading, it is available now on BitGet. This is the very first week it's ever been available for copy trading. Without any further ado, that's it for me.